Hi friends! Welcome back to Pretty and Pierced. Today we're going to be interviewing a very special guest. We're so excited.
She goes by 14needles on Instagram and TikTok. Some of y'all may know her, some of y'all may not, but she's pretty iconic in the piercing industry. She does a lot of play piercings and a lot of cool stuff. She's based in New York, so kind of excited.
Let's have a chit chat.
Wanna feel it.
We're so excited to talk to you. I've been following you for a while now, so this is so exciting.
How long you think? It's been, I don't know, I've been on Instagram and I had like what?
Maybe like a year or so at this point.
Okay, yeah. I think it started really taking off. My Instagram started going crazy when I had a random video. I had a video just like of me piercing myself, and then it just like overnight I got like after 3 weeks after I posted it, I woke up and it was like, oh shit.
You're like, oh god. So, yeah, that's
it was fun though.
I love that for you.
I think
Thank you.
I figured out who you were when I was like starting to look into play piercings and like get invested with that stuff, and I saw the thighs you did with the blue ribbon, and I was like, I like this, you know. So
yeah, actually with play piercings, my mentor has been piercing. She's been piercing for about 20 years, and she brought in her hard copy portfolio, and I saw like old school like film pictures of it, and I was like, I absolutely love that, because with me with piercing, I came in there, I was like a unicorn. I hadn't touched anybody. And just like kind of like being introduced to it through that lens was so influential for me. And I had seen my coworker, who when I was at Live by the Sword, we'll see. We'll talk about piercing chop shops and all that stuff, because it's definitely a combo. But I saw Alex do one. Alex Pokes. You should definitely. They're fantastic. They did a lot of work with me.
I was supposed to just did them, right?
Yeah, you follow them? Do you follow
Alex Pokes?
Yes, like that way. So he was the first one to do one. He did the chain one on the neck, and then I did that one with Evan as like just like as like a pro bono like project, because I had never done one before, and they actually let me choose the color of the ribbon, but it was like for like a school project and everything. And you know, I think like with play piercings, it's so unique. It's like piercing is so intimate, but that's a whole other level of intimate.
Absolutely. That's so fun. So for people who follow us who don't know who you are, I wanted you to kind of tell them who you are and what you love to do.
What I love to do. I mean, so my name is Zai. I'm on Instagram as 14needles. I've been a professional body piercer for around 3 years now. And you know, it's been a really crazy just take off like rocket ship. And I entered a whole new world that I didn't even know existed. Even though I've always been drawn to piercings, I had no clue that there was such a large community of people, especially online, that are so like ride or die for it. So
that's awesome. And you said you've been piercing now professionally for about 3 years. That is so cool. You tattoo as well though, right?
I tattoo, not well, but I do. I'm okay. It's mostly just for fun, like for friends, and like for me. I started out as a tattooer. I wanted to do hand poke, and I just like the dynamic of tattoos versus piercings. I don't like the longer period of time when I'm with clients like that. Hence why those long piercing corset projects were like very draining for me. It was better if I was on a team of artists doing it.
No, for sure.
I completely understand that. We both do both, so we completely understand where you're coming from on that.
That's something that also I've seen is a little bit more common, is that piercers are like just definitely more I'd say like jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
We do like manager work, jewelry
Absolutely.
design, buying, tattooing, and then you have your like tattooers that are just, like tattoos.
Yeah.
You probably heard from other tattooers who be like, I don't know how you do that. Like,
There's a lot of piercers too who be like, if they do anything other than pierce, you know, like they're not as focused on it. But I think it's really important for both of us to make it both important, you know.
I disagree. I feel like everybody's different. And I think that, like, you know, where Gen Z especially is so, like, vast. The amount of knowledge that we have and the way that our brains have developed. Like, I see millennials definitely, they didn't have as much internet and as much, like, stuff available to them. So I think that it's only common for them to think, like, oh, this is our thing. Like, this is the way that we do things. But, you know, it's always changing in the industry. Then, you know, like the tides are always turning. So I think it's good to have people that are both. There's nothing wrong with either or, but the one thing I don't like is the judgment.
Absolutely.
I think the judgment's bad.
Yeah. I think in our industry, that's one of the like biggest issues for sure. Is like, if you don't do it my way, you're wrong, you know, and like there's so much to get into.
But I feel like with our industry, you can't be closed off. There's so much shit to learn, and that we're just starting.
Times, you know,
we can't just be one set. We have to be like able to do everything or want to learn how to do everything. At least
I'm so glad that you agree on that, because I was trained in a shop with obviously my piercer is old school. My piercing mentor was old school, so she was like very much so like surgical steel, like all that stuff. Like I've pierced with all different kinds of jewelry, and I've learned so much because I had 37 other piercers there, and there are things that I would never do, and then there are things that I would never think to have tried. And it's a science, it's a medical, it's not only is it an art form, but it's also a medical practice and ritual. And I think there's theory. It's bevel theory, not bevel fact. So, you know, just like being open-minded is good, but then there's always like the no-nos, like
absolutely
the no-nos.
Absolutely. No, I'm loving this.
Like the piercing no-nos are funny.
Yeah, definitely.
The next question, did you start out just wanting to pierce or tattoo, or did it evolve naturally? I know we kind of touched on that a little bit.
Stick and pokes,
Yeah, so I wanted to pierce first, actually. I was looking into doing piercing because I'm from Connecticut before I had moved to New York City to pursue basically like just like a bunch of like body mods and fashion. I was looking to do an apprenticeship at a pretty well-known shop out here. I still talk to them and everything, but it didn't work out. And so I ended up finding my mentor down in Brooklyn. And that just was, honestly, with tattoos, I didn't have like a straight up mentor because my partner at the time had been teaching me, and I didn't like the dynamic of that. I thought the power imbalance would be kind of funky. And I wanted something traditional, and I got very lucky, I think, to have a mentor that not only was so knowledgeable, but so perfect for me as her student.
Absolutely.
So
that's so cool. Let's see.
What was your first piercing experience other than like earlobes that like
really
got you into it? That you were like, this is like kind of cool, you know?
My first piercing experience, like something that I did or somebody else did for me.
That you received.
That I received. Okay. Yes. So I was like 9 years old, and I was at the mall. I saw this girl. She had an industrial piercing with like one of those like fun like bent like custom shapes in there. A traditional one, just a cutesy jewelry. And I was like, "What is that?" And you know, it turned into a thing where like if I saw cool piercings, I really wanted. I was emo. I didn't execute it very well because I didn't have my parents were not going to buy me all the fun stuff that I see these kids with now today. I'm like, you're so lucky that you have TikTok shop. You know, we had to do things at Hot Topic if your parents allowed you to. But so I think it was the industrial, because I ended up my graduation present to myself from high school when I turned 18 was my industrial piercing.
Oh, yeah.
And that became my baby. So,
Yeah.
and I can show you guys.
Yes.
I have right here.
We love seeing
my
the
ears are really
industrial.
small, but
Yeah.
she's in there. It's all, and then I have some dangles on there too.
Yeah,
But
that's
she's
so
6
cute.
years healed now.
Love
It's
it.
been a long time.
Yeah, heck yeah. I
So
love, like, whenever I have a client, you know, they're like celebrating something like, oh, I've wanted this for so long, you know, it just makes you feel so like, oh, I get to be a part of something special, you know. I think that brings me back
yeah.
to the morals of it a lot, but hell yeah.
There's a lot of morals in piercing.
Oh, yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's so, you're so correct. Like having to that moment with a client, it's not like anything else I've ever experienced. And truly it just gave me so much meaning to be able to be there for so many people.
Yeah.
That, like, just like you said, like, just you share that with them forever, even if they take it out like it's theirs, you know.
For sure, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So what we talked about what you got first, it was your industrial, but what was the first one you did on someone else?
The first one I did was an eyebrow piercing.
Okay.
On Alex.
Oh, heck yeah.
So yeah, so he was my pin cushion, and then I did a cartilage piercing on him too.
Yeah.
But I think that says a lot about where I ended up going in terms of what my strong suit became in my career so far with facial piercings. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff on your Instagram, and I'm just like, one, you're getting such good photos. I need tips and tricks on that. But two, like, your portfolio.
I can definitely tell you. What?
Your portfolio is so impressive, you know, like seeing all the symmetrical stuff and everything. It's beautiful.
I think I really just kind of like honed in on on what I wanted, and I gave myself a goal that was obtainable, but also because it just comes from like, and I appreciate you so much for saying that, like, you know, I really put in a lot of time and effort into, like, I remember the way my piercings, the pictures came out at first, and see their faces are like, because it was like the student piercings, everybody's all messed up and you're like shaking and they're like, oh shit, what did I do?
Yeah.
But to see the progression of like taking pictures, and then to see also the influence that I have noticed in terms of how people take pictures of their piercings and post them now. I think it's so cool to like see how we all kind of like ricochet these trends off of each other, and it's been a pleasure doing it. Also, I will say, iPhone 13 was the best thing with a shitty little ring light in my studio. Put them up against a white background, and honestly, dude, I think the best thing about it was like I would make sure my clients felt comfortable before I posted the pictures. So I would let them know, like, you know, that, like, I don't know what it is. I think I just also had a knack for capturing them in their essence with that camera. Yeah, I think.
Like part of the creativity in piercing, I talk a lot about like finding creativity in it, because it, like you were saying earlier, it is very science, it is, you know, health oriented, but then also when we get to do like the play projects or like taking photos of your piercings, kind of having that creative aspect is so important, I feel, you know?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I mean, there is so much creativity in expressing yourself through piercings. Like, you know, if people didn't do like new things, then we wouldn't have the forward helix piercing, we wouldn't have transverse lobe piercings, we wouldn't have surface piercings or dermals or anything like that if we didn't, you know, expand and just like totally do what you want to do type of energy. Like, you know, I'm always down to take on some weird projects. Like, I don't know if you guys have done like the surface lip piercings. That one was fun. I did one on a girl. She was actually an physicist at Yale.
What the
And
I
know.
So cool.
You had the funniest clients that would come in to live by the sword at Soho, and I would be like all day long piercing. She came and she was like, none of the piercers wanted to do it because they were like, I'm not doing that. And they were like, Zai will definitely do it.
Yeah.
And of course I did, but it's the thing is like, you just tell the client, this is what the risks are of the piercing. You be extremely thorough. Let them know, make yourself available to them, and don't be afraid to make a mistake. Just know how to fix it. Absolutely. Is what my mentor told me, is that if you're gonna fuck up, you better know how to fix that, or else you're gonna look bad.
Yeah. No, for sure.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Was there a moment when like you were kind of getting into it where you were like, yeah, like this is what I want to do, or even before I guess you started like your apprenticeship per se, like was there a moment where you're like, yes, like this is wholeheartedly what I'm walking into?
Yes. So I was struggling right now. Right now I'm finishing up my degree, but I had dropped out of college after weeks of contemplating it. I'm like, I have a mentor that's sitting there waiting for me to come in.
Yeah.
And I moved to New York City on a whim. Everything was working out for me. And I don't know if you guys have read The Alchemist, but that book is what kind of like transformed my mindset and took me into this idea where it's like, I can do whatever I want and have the life that I want. And that was for me. I thought it was like, going to be extremely hard for me to find something. I was studying law and I was miserable. I was so miserable. But yeah, if this piercing had become the way that I could actually be involved with communities and help them in ways that I could not do with public policy.
Oh yeah, that is crazy. I had no idea.
That's actually cool. Pretty badass. Like finishing up a law degree. It's like subtle flex.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I'm taking a little break from it, just because like, I had to prioritize my own journey throughout life. It's gonna throw things at you. It's always gonna be there, but the industry really is hard. There's a reason why people are like, it's not for everybody, and I'm super sensitive. So when people start doing well, and you're gaining traction and all that stuff, people react funny to it, and I don't respond well to like drama and negativity like that in communities. So it was definitely hard for me to navigate that in New York, where you're surrounded by some of the best ones, like the best of the best are out there, and you're just like, holy shit, like I'm like doing so much, and it's so fast too. Like I don't know, I think sometimes I pierced maybe like I did like 24 hours of piercing once.
Damn.
I was crazy.
No,
yeah,
that's crazy. I think the worst I've done is probably like 13 hours, and I'm like, I need to sleep for the next 2 days, like that's a lot.
It's draining. You're talking to not only piercing people, but you're talking to people. Like you have to make sure that like you're taking care of yourself and you're eating well, and you're showing up for your clients. It also means showing up for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But also, I think not a lot of people understand that a lot of this is customer service with piercing and tattooing in general. You have to make sure they have a good experience. You're explaining yourself very thoroughly in order for people to come back and like vibe with you,
Yeah. It's like, put your happy face on and do it. And then, like after, it's hard to find a good balance because, like after work, you're just like, the pressure of somebody's health in your hands, and also like you said, like make them feel welcome and comfortable in a scary moment. Like every time I get pierced, every time I get tattooed, I get nervous. It is a human reaction for a lot of people. So trying to make sure that that's comfortable for them as well. Yep.
I think like as non-binary, femme, and queer people, like women in this industry, I think that's something that we offer more than like my male colleagues in the industry, I feel like. But everybody's looking for something different. So some people are going to want to go into that experience and they just want to bing, bang, boom. And usually guys I've seen are best at that. But when it comes to like people who are anxious, they still, just because you're scared doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Right. I think that's part of it.
That's what we do. I would tell, because I had briefly had some students where I had kind of like introduced them, and then they move on to shop babies and stuff like that. My favorite thing to tell people is you have to convince them to let you hurt them and then let you heal them at the same time.
Yeah.
So like you're sending them through pain and bringing them back out is the way that I would put them. And that's not a lot of people can do that successfully.
Yeah. No, I love that. That is so beautiful. I never
it's
those
a
words.
beautiful career.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Like, we're the only people besides, like, doctors or nurses that anybody would let touch with a needle, like, purposely. So, like, that is a really big weight to carry. They trust us to make sure that they're not going to get an infection, that they're well taken care of, that everything we're doing is safe and sterile, so they don't have future problems. And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, piercers are so incredibly smart. Like, if you care about what you do, the amount of shit that you need to know, girl,
everything more. Everything. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's what keeps me intrigued about it, because I'm definitely the type of person to like get bored easily, but because there's so much to learn every fucking day about piercing, like I'm never bored because I'm always working forward on something. And I think the whole industry obviously that's the goal for all of us, but
no, it's always changing and growing, but I think like the navigation of what you want out of piercing is definitely something that you got to think about too, because it's just kind of like what are you doing to make yourself the most happy and to make yourself stand out as a piercer. Like for me, obviously it was the symmetry and stuff like that, but like I wasn't big on the like I did the plate piercings just to do it. I would always recommend it to Alex. Like it was too exhausting for me.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely like where we live. Like we're in Texas, so we don't get as much of the like fashion side of it. A lot of people like stick with the ears, and like obviously we have some clientele who want like the full face setup and everything. But I think I really enjoy play piercings and stuff because it's so different and it's so much more for me to, not like more for me to learn, I guess, but it's a different aspect of learning for it.
It's an outlet for you to be able to get creative.
I like planning them out. I like spending weeks in advance, like what chain is wear, like that's my favorite,
Yeah.
I enjoy looking at them, and I enjoy the creative like direction aspect of the photo shoot. There was one that Alex and I did at my studio that Alex did the shibari knots with like the play piercing. Alex was mainly doing that, but I was just kind of there to oversee it. And it's just like, dude, the things that people have done is just so incredibly awesome. Like seeing them, like especially like now, because like as I mentioned before, like Gen Z is so like out there. Like we're constantly pushing the boundaries, and like the fashion side of things is like you're a piercer, like you're probably gonna end up traveling at some point. Like go to conventions and make connections, make friends, and you'll be able to get those clients at some point. Like just want it if you want it for yourself. What you want will come to you if you allow it to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I guess like while we're still kind of on the topic of
play
piercings and like just sort of the spiritual side of it, do you think like out of all your projects you could pick one that's been the most meaningful to you and the client and the atmosphere surrounding that experience?
Everyone is different, so I don't know if there's one that's my favorite, but I think probably the first one was special because I had that relationship with my client Evan. They tied their piercing ribbon onto like their like knee-high Converse, and it was so cute to see them come back and do that. But I actually had on my Instagram, I have I think it's my Claudia appreciation post. One of my clients who has fantastic taste in jewelry, by the way, she would come in and I'd be like, I know what you want. You want, like, I know what you're looking for. Because it's so specific. But her and I planned that out, and it felt rushed at the time, which was why I was kind of upset, because of, my shop it's a high volume shop. It's not, very intimate. But that one was nice because I had her write a blurb as to why she did what she did, and how it felt for her before, during, and after the process. And then the one I did with my client JJ over the piercing corset, she became another favorite client of mine. Those people, there's another bond that happens because it's so long, and like some people, like, you have to make sure that they're drinking water. You have to make sure that they're okay, because like, not only are you piercing them multiple times, but like, you are helping them feel beautiful in a way that, even though it's temporary, like, is so different and so it's so unique, that like, to what we do as artists, that like, I don't know, I just can't really explain it.
It's niche.
I completely understand, because I started off like getting play piercings done before I was even an official piercing. Like, me piercing was kind of just like up in the air at this point in time, and I did some or Kylie did some on my arms, and that was just like a whole different experience of like feeling beautiful and showing it off and being like, oh my god, like, I could sit through this pain and feel like the coolest person ever. Like, this is in my skin. And then we kind of just kept going from there, and we still have a bunch of cool shit planned soon. But
like, if you can't get into the mindset for it, like, it could be exhausting for certain people, so like, really like honing in and like being like one with your body, like, it is a different experience. It is not,
you have to keep telling yourself
it's meditative.
100%, because you have to log in.
Very similar to the suspensions.
So I was stalking your Instagram. You've suspended yourself, correct?
I did. So my mentor is similar to you, but Ally, right? So AlyKat.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm terrible with names. I'm good with fingers, but so she started off doing suspensions over in Puerto Rico, and that's how she started piercing. And that suspensions was actually the thing that intrigued me the most, and was why I was so like into that grungy like Y2K era, is because of the suspension scene in that time. And when I saw those, I had never seen them before, and I just fell in love. Suspension is probably the most spiritual experience that I have ever had in my life. I pass out for piercings.
Really?
So yeah, I do. And I know, like, when I tell my clients that, they're like, no way, because I used to have 12 facial piercings. I ended up taking some out, just because like I needed a change and a reset. But like, basically, I didn't pass out for those. And they're crazy. Like, that was so painful.
Piercing 6-gauge needle.
But there's this incredible, like, just total, like, ego death. Like, just, like, sitting there being like, oh, my God, what am I doing? But you do it for your own reasons. Sometimes people do it for performance. Like, I had met Corella Morgan at one of, she's a fantastic performer, but some people, they come and they're there, and you're cheering these people on, and you're like, you can do it, like, fuck your boyfriend for making you feel like shit, fuck him, like, fuck all the people that made you feel bad in life. Like, you are going to show yourself right now that you can do things that not a lot of people can do. And, if you look into the history of body suspensions, it comes from, I think it's the West Indies and tribal communities in Asia, where it was for warriors. So it's a testament to their personal strength. you know, and they really went crazy with it. But just knowing that, that's also a very interesting part of piercing to me, is just like how long you've been doing it.
Yeah. Like, I have a few different, like, books about piercing history and everything, and it's like, you just flip through and you're like, nah, like, there's no way that it's like, it's huge, you know, and it's, you know, it's obviously so different now where it is, but like, this has been going on forever, you know, and I think a lot of people don't realize that, you know.
Some people think that it's a recent thing and that like happened within the
They're
early
like the
2000s,
Aerosmiths, you know, it was all because of the belly button piercing, and I'm like, no, babes, no,
actually, the oldest piercing to ever be discovered was like, and I've done extensive research on it, so I know for a fact it's from like, I think it's like either 20,000 or 12,000. Everybody knows about the ISH guy that was found with the earlobes, but it was actually a set of cheek piercings and a stretched labret. Which is like so crazy, because I can't believe that it's cheeks too, because cheeks are so controversial. And you know, like, that's the first piercing that was found. So clearly we've been doing controversial stuff like that for a long time, but
and
but it's
like,
got meaning,
you know, if that was like the first one, you know, like, obviously they had to be stretched up to a certain size, that takes time, you know, and obviously they knew how to do that, you know, or they thought of how to do that. It's really crazy, but it's so cool, like, digging into it, you know?
Who knows why we decide to do things, but I'm glad that we do, because it's definitely brought me some of the happiest moments of my life.
I feel that though.
It's a whole different level of like gratification. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, the adrenaline rush sometimes, like after you pierce somebody, like, especially when it's somebody like your friend, or you're doing something that's like, you know, I can't fuck up, just like, woo! And sometimes I'll be like, I'm about to pass out now, so.
I don't talk about this often, but like sometimes when I do have someone who is a fainter, or, you know, like they're getting lightheaded, you know, as soon as I notice they're starting to get lightheaded, I'm like, whoa, why is the room spinning? And I'm like, lock in, you gotta take care of somebody.
It's so much more pressure knowing that like you have to now lock in to do extra,
like, even
to take
more,
care of them. But I think for myself personally, I kind of thrive in those situations, because now it's like, I'm the professional, I gotta lock in and show them that this is gonna be okay.
That they're safe, it's fine, I'm not freaking out. I'm totally not freaking out, you know?
It's a scary thing, dude. People's nerves get really, really worked up, and they get all jumbled and everything like that. So, you know, it's only natural for them to feel like, you know, it's just that adrenaline rush is going to take us, have the sugar drop and everything like that. It's not a problem, you know. And I've had people feel like embarrassed to tell me, and I'm like, don't feel embarrassed. It doesn't mean that you're any less strong than you are. Like, you know, it's just, I passed out for my dermal for like 45 minutes. That was a funny one. I was just like, I'm about to pass out now. And I just like slumped in the chairs. It was, you know, it's cute, but you're so right. I do thrive in those situations too. And I think that also has to do with the empathy that, you know, it's such an important thing to be empathetic in piercing. Like, and I think that's also probably why you pick up on that emotion, where it's just like, you know, people who are spiritually in tune to, like, you know, the others in the universe and their feelings, you're going to automatically assimilate to that energy that's there.
Absolutely.
So it's super important to make sure that you're strong and you're feeling good, and you're making sure the client is also reciprocating that, and not doing things too quickly, I think is something that I take a lot of time. And that was something that brought a lot of clients back to me too, is the fact that, like, I would spend a lot of time with them, making sure that they felt good, being like, you're sure you're ready, you're good, you have any time you can sit here and tell me don't do it, even if I'm right there, you know, like, not being pushy. I think that's something that I also, like, when I was working with a lot of piercers, like, it was very competitive, and that for me, I prefer to be in a smaller environment, I think, because it's just like, I'm not trying to compete with anybody to make anybody feel like bad or like, you know, like leave anybody out of anything like that. Some people really like that though. Some people like do great in that environment, and like that's like amazing for them. Like it was definitely fun, but like long term, I get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's like overstimulated. I'm like,
Yeah. I think it's easy for that to happen in certain places.
Yeah.
Trust, I've had my own times. When I did my first ever vertical industrial, I think like a month ago, and
That's so cool.
They're so cool.
This was this girl's first piercing. That
Other
was
than, like, her
cartilage.
ears,
Yeah, she had her first lobes, and she was like, "I want my vertical
And
industrial."
she was set. She was like, I want it.
But she was.
That was like me.
Yeah, she was having a fucking panic attack, and I was like, "Hey, girl, like I completely understand where you're coming from. This is a very scary piercing.
Yeah.
Like you can do this if you really want it, but I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna pressure you to do it."
Yeah.
And I think we were in there for like 45 minutes to an hour, kind of just going back and forth on if she was gonna get it done or not. And
She
like,
was sitting like so good too.
she's like a fucking G. Yeah, she did so good.
Exactly.
But I've never had to be more sure of myself than like in that moment.
Do not fuck up.
Yeah. It's like no pressure at all, but the most pressure in the world to make this
No, it came out
absolutely
beautiful
perfect.
too. It was so cool.
Yeah.
She was so
Isn't that the best?
Yeah.
It really was.
When you
It feels
see
so
the work just like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that was always a fun part for me is
Yeah.
when you do something and it's just like yes,
Like,
it's like
this is why we do it.
it's like a sport.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels like a sport in that sense where you're like, you know, it's such a like a testament to accuracy and like accuracy, precision. I think for a long time I had precision and permanence in my bio, and it's definitely what we do. Like it may not be like a permanent thing, but the scar is gonna be there.
It is,
So,
you know. Yeah.
it can be if you want it to be, but I see that typically it ends up being on the ears or the nose. That's for the more permanent piercings.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't think I've really seen a lot of like 80-year-olds with eyebrow piercings.
You know what though?
We're gonna make it
I'll be
happen.
happy to see it. It makes me happy.
That would slay so hard.
I know, right?
My goal is to be like 80, 90 with my vertical bridge still like
Doesn't
in and
Pierre have
thriving.
his? Or no? It's just his nips.
Pierre definitely has his nips and his septum.
His septum, yeah.
Right.
He's probably like
70, but
is
he
part of running one of the conventions in Colorado, and he's probably in his 70s, and like he's covered
Gray
neck
hair.
to like to his hands, like fully tattooed, full color, gray hair,
Yeah.
and like he's got his nipples pierced, his septum pierced. We're like in love with him, you know.
I'm
but
like thriving to do that one day.
yeah. I love seeing that.
Hey, I took out my dahlias 3 times. I'm probably not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna redo them because they were so like the healing period for them was so long. It was getting crusty.
Yeah.
Those were the ones where I was like, ugh. But maybe I've thought about different piercings that I would get in the future, like just to like kind of like change the setup as I grow and change as like not just like as a person but as a piercer and just what you think aesthetically in life is going to change, you know. So it's a journey, and it's fun that we can like see the journey through what piercings we're gravitating towards and at what times too.
Absolutely, for sure.
Mhm.
Let's think.
How would you describe your personal style as like an artist?
In what sense?
Like in piercings in general and like yourself, you know, like would you say you're more of like a gothic
girl, yeah.
or like alternate, you know what I mean?
Honestly, it's hard to explain because with me, I feel like I'm pretty versatile, like with my style.
Yeah.
But mostly as an artist, I think that I excel in those classic like 90s Y2K, like perfecting that grunginess. Like my goal was to take that aesthetic of, you know, rebellious and all that stuff and make it look so beautiful that it's hard to say no to it.
Absolutely.
And kind of try to change the perception that it's like, you know, just make it aesthetic, make it more of an aesthetic than it is. But I'd say for me personally, as an artist, I don't know, I finally kind of settled into my own personal style, but it's very different than what I would say my attraction is for piercings.
Yeah.
So
Where do you pull your inspiration from the most from, like, for piercing, I guess? Like, is it just from, like, the Y2K aesthetic, or is it just, like, you seeing stuff online, or, like, specific vibe?
For me, honestly, it's definitely, like, I follow a lot of, like, Eastern Asian accounts, and I think that they have some really cool, like aesthetically oriented stuff.
Yeah.
There's also, like, just like Y2K, dude, like that year, because it's so, like, I grew up in that era, and that's what initially brought me in there. But, like, okay, yeah, let's see, like, yeah, I think those are the two that the most, like, definitely, like Asian countries have some really, really, really cool stuff that I think, like, they're definitely, like, under the radar for just how, like, unique and, like, new punk rock from, like, a different perspective all the way across the world.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
I love that.
You recently had a client in a runway show, right?
Oh yeah, I had one of my like colleagues. They DJ. They're a model now. But I had done their cheeks. Just from, like, being, like, mutual friends. Like, you know, I had a lot of people who I just, like, would pierce a bunch of different, like, friend groups, and seeing that on the runway and knowing that I helped contribute to that, like,
That is crazy.
honestly, that made me feel really good. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I felt special, for not only for them just being queer, being trans, but also not, like, their trans in general is a statement as hell. Mm-hmm. But then to have all of those body mods, not just a few, all of them, is so, and with such a like minimalist outfit. It was perfect. I was so incredibly proud of them, and knowing that I had a little piece in that, and also telling them, Winter, downsize your cheek bars, babe. And they did not want to, and it's just like, look at what happened. Like, them not wanting to ended up with them going and doing that. I wouldn't recommend that, because you can definitely have problems. I know that when my dahlia was a little too long on this side, it was creating a little bit of a bumpsies, and I was like, ow. So,
well, that's still,
but you can chip your tooth. You gotta be careful with that. You gotta make sure when you placing them that when they're biting down in there, they're not gonna bite on it, or that you're not piercing on those glands. So
that's the scary part.
Oh yeah. They're actually not too hard to navigate.
Do you freehand those things, or you use forceps?
Hell no.
Oh. Hey, I've seen everything. You know?
I'm not a freehander. I can freehand, but I think that the whole debate between freehand and tools is so, it's honestly, like, degrading a little bit. I think silly. Because I have tremors, and if I feel more comfortable, like, being able to have that accuracy and steady my needle because I have a tool there that's helping me, that's what they're there for. And I don't think that anybody's less good or bad of a piercer if they can do things. I do find freehand techniques impressive, but I think all techniques are impressive. But it's just like the clamp is going to be there to do what your finger's doing. And if you have steady fingers like that, that's great for you. Right. I don't. I had a medical condition where I'm going to shake. So, you know, it's not. I don't think that's fair. At all.
Said, like, you know, your tools are your tools. They're there to help you. There's no. I don't think there's any, like. I understand the points, you know, of, like, why to freehand. I like to, for execution, I like to freehand some things, but not everything, you know, it just really depends on like what the piercing.
Not everything can be free-handed,
you know?
but some things require it.
Yeah.
Some things require a freehand, like the anatomy. Like, if that tool's not clamping the way, you better be able to do that other technique too. Like, that's another thing where it's like, I think you had somebody had mentioned it earlier where it's like, oh, my way or the highway. It's like, no, girl,
literally,
like, you gotta get out there and if you gotta troubleshoot. If that isn't gonna work, you better know how to do it the other way.
Yeah.
So you can get that piercing perfect for that client. You know, being agile is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, that's like you were saying, it's a big point going back to like the whole like, I don't know why specifically people get so like that, but like, you know, if you don't do it the way I do it, you're doing it wrong. You know, it's like, as long as our client is safe and we are comfortable, that is what matters, you know.
Oof. Dude, don't even get me started on those people.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like I said, there are piercing no-nos.
Yeah.
There's like, you don't put certain types of jewelry in certain piercings.
Yeah.
You don't pierce, like, you're not going to pierce a nostril with a hoop or something like that. Like, I wouldn't recommend that. But at the same time, there's going to be like, you know, those people that are just like, how dare you do this the thing way, like that way, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, get out of my comment sections and stop being like so crazy over something that I did like like literally states away from you.
Yeah.
People were like arguing on one of the piercings that I had done that was literally for a temporary piercing. Took it out within 6 months. She knew she was going to do that.
Yeah.
And because it had gone viral, they were sitting there on Christmas Eve fighting about how I shouldn't be able to call myself a professional just because I did that piercing. And I'm just like, oh, fuck you.
No, we've had comments like that too, and it's just like, oh my god, we're supposed to be like
nasty behavior
each other, and we're supposed to be uplifting,
educating.
You know, if I see a piercer doing something that I don't recommend, what am I gonna say? Like, they already know I'm not gonna agree, you know, like.
But also, I think with the comments a lot, because I have a lot of absurd comments on my TikTok.
So
oh yeah, no. Oh no, I don't hang out with you know, one of the advice things that I had gotten was, I love my coworkers and I love my community, but hanging out with piercers all the time is exhausting because we're zooming in, we're like and like we're like
your
angle, and it's like I just like it's catty.
Yeah.
It's very catty. And I think that's just something that also just kind of comes with like that APP versus non-APP separation, where it's like, hey dude, I'm in my early 20s. I'm not always gonna have the time to be able to go to conventions all the time and do that stuff, but like, you know, that's why we have each other.
Yeah.
And the division is something that I don't agree with. I think that everybody has the right to be educated, because what's worse that is just creating this fear and this doubt in somebody when you can make a mistake and still grow from it. You know, I think that's how we learn.
That's how we learn.
Exactly. But they can be really mean, and I don't respond well to that. So that's why sometimes I don't read replying on Instagram. Like, I post like stories and stuff, but I'm just like, it's gonna make me cry. Like, I can't do it. So, but it's a tough industry. I came into this industry to grow some thicker skin, and it definitely helped.
But I feel like sometimes when it comes from piercers, like most of the time it can be a little aggressive, but they're trying to educate. I feel like when it comes from just like random people on the internet, they take it so personal, like on a whole different level. I've had people like commenting, "You're never gonna be da-da-da-da-da," and I was just like, hey guys, I've had so many people be like, "You're never gonna get a job a day in your life," and I was like, I hope you know, like, this is actually
my job.
what I live
This is my job. Yeah, no, I know.
I get paid to do this. And then it's just,
but you don't see a lot of people like us, though. I think like that's something that, like, you know, you also have to understand that like most people are not like you said it yourself, like down in Texas, like I was in New York City, where you have all these like crazy people that are walking down the street wearing like stripper clothes all the time. Like, it's it's a different environment. You know, they're wearing like the craziest of the craziest
but it's
shit.
always so fire, so.
Yeah, sometimes New York City, I love it. I love it truly, but it's just kind of like, why? Sometimes it'd be like, you didn't have to do all that, baby. But
just live in life,
you know, yeah, but I think because I like right now, like I just like moved and went to a quieter place just to like, you know, reconnect with myself and heal. It's just like, dude, people out here, that's part of the reason why I took them out, because I was tired of getting the looks where I'm just like, I get it though, because it's just like, they don't know, and they're not going to take the time to know or understand. That's the sad part, is people are usually steadfast in their ways, unfortunately. But then some people were really intrigued and be like, when I would tell them I was in the industry, I think it made it a little smoother.
Usually.
So they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, that interaction at Starbucks like 20 minutes ago before this. She was like, I love your piercing, it's so unique. And I was like, oh, I'm actually a piercer and a tattoo artist. Here's my card. And she was like, oh my god, no way. I was like, no.
Don't you love saying that? Yeah. Isn't it really nice to be able to be like, yeah, actually, I do that.
Yeah, and like they see cool piercings, and then they talk about the piercings that they want automatically once they see it. And then you're like, oh my god, hey, actually, this is what I do for a living. Maybe come see like 50
people don't realize we're business people. At the end of the day, if you be a good piercer, you got to know how to market yourself. And I definitely love doing that. Like, you know, just being different is how you're going to find your people. And it's just like, it's so much fun to experiment with it and see what you can do as like just a salesperson.
Everything. It's okay. That was actually also my fortune cookie the other day. It was like, embrace your uniqueness, and I was like,
oh yeah,
hello.
Oh yeah, yep. No, that's something that I think we have the privilege to do. Like, everybody does, but like I feel like that what is it? It's like the integrity, like the honesty of how you want to display yourself. Like, if anything that I would tell anybody is just fucking do it. Like, you just be yourself. It's so liberating, and I don't think I've ever felt more beautiful in my life than when I started actually like doing the things that I wanted to do for myself.
For sure. And even when it comes down to piercings and body modifications and tattoos on yourself, I like to think of it as like decorating your character, like customizing.
We're customizing our Sims. We have the best IMVU characters,
But
literally,
like, you know, like, you can have phases and everything, you know, like where, like, I used to have my eyebrow and my dermal, and I was pretty blinged out, you know, for me, and like right now I only have on my face like 2 nostrils and my septum, and that's it, you know. But I want, like, I have a plan, like, I want to do 2 surface bars on each side, you know, and like I can switch it up, you know. I think that is the fun part too, where it's like a tattoo, you know, I'm not really the type to where like, oh, am I gonna regret this? Like, no, like, it made me happy now, it'll make me happy then. But those are more permanent, you know, and you can't really
get rid of
keep
those.
Customizing that unless you do crazy blast overs, you know. But with piercing,
no, that's another thing with piercing too that's fun, is the jewelry. Like, for me, I always hated my nose, so when I have 5 nose piercings, if you count my nose as my bridge as one, that'd be 6. And I like don't want a nose job anymore, because like I have like all these fun pieces that I can put on, and I can switch them around for the seasons and like really get creative with it and show another part of my style and my personality through that. And like you said, like you took out, like you want to have a plan. Like I had a plan too, and like being able to go and get those, like I didn't post myself a lot. When I did, it was literally just like on my story, so people knew who they were looking for. And you know, it's just like a specific look that's curated for you. Like all the symmetry on my face, that was like, you know, another marketing thing where it's just like, it's so, like, I could do a whole webinar on marketing as a piercer and being like, they come in and they want something that you have.
Yeah.
What better than to have something to show them, be like, ooh, I like that, you know, and show them that they can do that too.
And
you
then
know,
also look at your piercings and be like, oh, what was the pain level on this one versus
and
this
you can
one?
like, I love being honest with them, you know, like I'm not gonna be the type and like, oh yeah, like it doesn't hurt. Yeah, like that one was actually really spicy. That one sucked. I'm gonna keep it real with you. But going back into that, you've got this. I'm here for you. You know, like it's all part of the experience. You know.
Yeah.
But
you earn it. You earn your piercings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you earn the healed ones. I like. That's the way that I would try to tell the people for their hoops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be like, you earn that. That's what you earn it once you heal it well.
Yeah.
Like your nostril one, you know, don't put that in too soon because you're gonna come back here. It's gonna be a bump and you're gonna be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah. That like every day. Yeah.
Yep.
Fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I think our that was something that was really crazy. Was the amount of questions that I would get. Just being like, because they forget with aftercare.
Yeah.
Like the adrenaline rush, they're just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I totally get it. But at the same time, like, they'll come back and they'll be like, what did you do?
We saw, or I saw, I think it might have been Scott, but I don't know. I saw some piercers say that, like, you know, aftercare, it's not a magic product, you know? It's about being a detective, and it's like, where is the issue coming from? And I've never looked at it the same. Like that is every time I'm like, where is the problem coming from? You know? And usually we get it fixed. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, aftercare also, like, it's not that hard to do. I think it's usually like the less stress you put on trying to heal that wound aggressively, the easier it's gonna heal.
Yeah.
But also just like, you know, like not overdoing it, not underdoing it, you know, just being like, I have to clean this. Like that's literally all you have to freaking do. And it's so easy to just incorporate it into your regimen. Like, I don't know, but also aftercare is not linear. Like everybody has a different experience with healing and, you know, some person might be allergic to surgical steel, like nickel, and they're like, why did that happen? And one part of the body gets more inflamed than the other part of the body, or say they get sick or something, and the cortisol levels from stress or moving or finals or exam is going to stress out that piercing that's almost healed. They're like, why do I have a bump on my eyebrow all of a sudden? I'm like, well, are you taking finals? And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
You know?
When I had my dermal, I got a cold one time, and like, I swear up and down on my life, like the next day my dermal was red and inflamed and never had been before. And after that, it worked on to rejection, and I eventually took it out. But it's like, you don't realize it could be something that small, you know, until you see it, you know. And it's always, I feel like aftercare specifically, like I'm always learning something new about like different people and different scenarios, you know. Like, like you'll heal great for like the 6 weeks.
For the first like 3 months is perfect, and then randomly I'll get like an irritation bump out of nowhere,
and it's like, we already downsized
crusty skin,
you know,
and then it'll get inflamed and start pussing and oozing, and then for like a month, and then I'll be perfectly fine after that.
Like I said, everybody's body chemistry is different. So everybody's going through different things in their life. That's why it's like we're like, the amount of knowledge that we have in our like brains is just like kind of ridiculous, because I feel like there's such a stigma like with our industry, and assume that like, you know, like, oh, these people are not going to college or not doing stuff like that. Like that's not necessarily true. I think that like our way of our school is hands-on.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's just like the being a different kind of learner. I think everybody in this industry is neurodivergent to a certain extent, you know? Like, you can't just be a straight thinker being in this industry. There's absolutely no way.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
Because, like, I was never book smart. I can't do math for shit. I can't spell for shit.
I'll be like, your driver's license said you were born this year. How old are you?
I'm like 27.
They're like, actually, no, I'm 21. I'll be like, oh,
right.
My bad.
Or like, I'll make everybody spell check their tattoos, and I'm just like, I do not spell for a living. Like, this is going on your body. You double check because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing spell wise. I can tattoo this on you.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, like, it's the special interest, dude. Like, the special interest of piercing in itself. Like, there's such a beautiful, like, gifts to being neurodivergent, especially in this industry, because it's like, you know, the more you know, the better. And good luck for us. Like, that's perfect for us, because that's all we're gonna think about. Like, I think piercers are probably some of the most obsessive people that I've ever met about their career. And it's definitely cool.
It's like, I can definitely hyperfixate on this for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was so excited to talk to you guys today about this stuff, because I used to be around piercers and tattooers all the time, and since I've been out, like, and just kind of like spending time with my family now, like, they don't understand, like, you know, all the ins and outs of stuff, and like, you know, seeing like my old friends from where I grew up. I'm the only piercer to graduate from my high school.
That's
so like, it's just, you know, I don't have that as much anymore, so it's like really nice to be able to go on a spiel about it. But I do have to leave soon.
No worries.
So are there any other questions?
I think the last one that we really just want to do is, like, what is the biggest takeaway that you've gotten from your career? Like, the biggest life lesson that you've learned, I guess.
Like, let's unpack the biggest question.
The biggest life lesson from piercing just has to be probably that, you know, if you want something, like, really, really bad, and you put all of your heart into it, and you don't force it, you just do it because you love it, that is going to be a life changer for you. It's going to change everything for you. And it may not be piercing that you love truly. Like, it could be tattooing, or it could be jewelry design or something like that. But allowing yourself the right to be and to do the things that you know are right for you. Like, I never thought that I would have that type of love for my career, and how much it made me feel accomplished. It's not like, you know, it's not like following your passions. It's just that it became my passion because of how amazing, like, it has been. It's a journey that not a lot of people, like, are really going to understand, except for other people in it. So,
well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It was so much fun.
Anytime. Yes. And if I don't already follow you, please shoot me a DM, so that I can. I think I follow you, the BabyGirl, and then AlyKat. I think I follow you too.
I just followed you this morning. It's okay, but mine's like a little Hello Kitty logo. You can't miss it. If not, it's okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, definitely. And I'll keep an eye out for your posts and everything too. Like, I'm always here. I'm always down to repost and you know, support people in the community and make sure that you guys are getting the traction that you deserve too. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. You take care, and let's keep in touch for sure. Bye, guys.
Bye, friends.